as we're going to do every day over the course of the Victorian election, we're going to go to our reporters on the ground. They're out in the hustings and they're going to press conferences from both sides of politics. Julia Bradley has been covering everything today. She joins us now. Julia, welcome to Credlin. This is your first night on here, the kicking off of the Victorian campaign. Let's start with the Premier. This car crash story, I went through all the detail at the top of the show, published in the Herald Sun, front page, double-page spread, a lot of detail, very serious. We saw his response, a complete stonewalling. I think it was 17 questions he got on this issue. Give us a sense of what it was like on the ground.
So this story did have a big impact on the second day of the state election campaign. The revelations really dominating the questions that were asked of the Labor leader today. As you say, the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, he essentially refused to respond. He shut down these 17 questions that were asked of him in relation to these fresh claims made by now 24-year-old cyclist who was involved in a collision with the Andrews family car on the Mornington Peninsula back in 2013. So Ryan Mullerman, as you mentioned at the top of your show, claiming to the Herald Sun for the first time since this incident took place that he was told to never talk about it. He also claims that the car that was being driven by Daniel Andrews' wife, Catherine Andrews, at the time was driving at speed. Of course, he spent 11 days in hospital after that incident, suffering a number of serious injuries. So here's the Premier's response today when he was asked these 17 separate questions about the incident.
I can only repeat for you that I've gone to the facts of these matters in great detail, at length, on numerous occasions, and I've got nothing further to add. Again, I've gone to great lengths on multiple occasions. I think you've got transcripts of very lengthy press conferences where we went through everything, and I've got nothing further to add. I've already addressed that issue. That question's been asked previously. As I said, Rachel, I've gone to these matters at length, and I've got nothing further to add.
I tell you what, it felt like today we're back in those COVID pandemic press conferences, and we've all got a bit of PTSD there, Julia. What about Matthew Guy? What was the Liberal leader doing today?
So the focus for Matthew Guy today was all about cost of living, as we've heard over the past few days as well. Also a health focus. He was announcing that if his party wins government on November 26, he's going to make $500 vouchers available for people on the elective emergency waitlist for dental work. So that waitlist currently sitting at 64,000 people, and the Coalition want to halve that. So these vouchers are about instead helping people pay for appointments at private practices instead. They've also said they want to inject $50 million over 4 years into the dental system in Victoria. So quite different days for both camps today. That cost of living focus really shining through though.
Yeah, we can hear the noisy news choppers there on the Yarra where you are. Thank you, Julia Bradley.